is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories you're watching this Wednesday, October 30. Super Typhoon Leon continues to move closer to Batanes. It is packing wind speeds of 185 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 230 kilometers per hour. Pag-asa space signal number 4 over Batanes, where landfall is not being ruled out. Parts of Luzon or northern Luzon are also under signals number 3, 2, and 1. The Santa Ana Police Station Santa Ana Police Station has set up a help desk at the Manila South Cemetery in preparation for Undas 2024. A medical tent, wheelchairs, and separate entrances for men and women have also been arranged. Sharp objects, vehicles, pets, and flammable materials are banned entry inside the cemetery.
And former Senator Sonny Trillanes said the transcript of the Senate drug war hearings has been sent to the International Criminal Court. In the hearing, former President Rodrigo Duterte admitted to a few things, including instructing police to encourage criminals to fight back. Trillanes added the ICC has also received the Quad Committee's transcript on a similar probe.
And joining us today, Storycon's resident political pundit, Tito Rol Llamas, who is still remote. Hindi ko kayo namimiss?
Oo. Kailan ka babalik dito, Ronald?
Namimiss mo kami, nakamute ka eh.
Bukas.
Ayun.
Bukas, nandiyan na ako.
Aba. Okay. And from the Star, up in Paranaque, Editor-in-Chief Ami Pamintuan joins us over there. Ami! Well, blue and
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Very good afternoon.
Napaka-Philippine star ni Ami ngayon.
Yung kulay mo, star na star eh.
Meron kaming ngayon, merong related taping kami sa Star, kaya nakaka-star ko.
May tema talaga siya.
Hindi pala siya coincidence.
Meron pala yan.
Sa mga hindi nakakalam ito yung mga the bolder colors of the Philippine Star.
Blue and yellow.
Oo.
Ayoko kayong mahawa, Patrick. Baka magalit yung mga misis niyo sa akin
Ano naman sinasabi?
Hindi, kasi may meron siyang...
para di tayo mahawa.
Meron siyang virus.
Ayoko mahawa kayo.
Pero yung sa kabila na 4, okay lang hawain mo, gano'n. Kasi
okay.
So,
okay lang.
iniiwas mo.
Actually, yung sa kabila kasi pre-tape. Yung sa kabila, Patrick, pre-tape yun eh.
Ganun ba yun?
Okay. Yung paliwanag ni Ronald. Sige. Okay. Ami, bagyo rin ba ang pinakamalaking balita ng Philippine Star?
Yes, dahil iniintay natin mukhang mag-i-intensify pa rin hanggang ngayong gumagabi, no? Baka may area dyan na baka yung area ng Cagayan in particular, baka maaabot na ng signal number 4 din. Delikado yun, di ba? Pinag-uusapan nga natin yung ilog dun eh. Yung napakalaking river doon, baka umapaw, wasak na naman yung mga bigas natin.
Yan, oo.
Kaya inaabangan natin yan.
Sa Quezon City, malakas yung buhos. Diyan ba sa...
ngayon?
Hindi pa?
Ang dilim-dilim na rin ng dito, ng langit dito.
Silipin mo yung bintana mo. Parang wala pang buhos.
Madilim sa labas, pero wala pang buhos.
Sa Quezon City, bumuhos eh.
Pwede, kung may bintana rito, pwede kung ganun yun eh.
Okay. Makulimlim dito sa may Mandaluyong or Pasig area. Pero dyan sa inyo, Ami, sa may Parañaque side,
madilim na rin. Madilim na rin. Saka may nakikita na kaming bandang ulan by northern area. Yun. Mga part of Manila yon siguro.
Or Quezon City, kung saan si Ronald.
Yung death toll sa Christine, 145 na.
Okay.
Ang tas-tas na, ngayon, meron pang ganyan. Ibig sabihin na, malakas ang hangin, di ba? Yes. Kapag ganyang signal number 4, napakalakas ng hangin.
Although marami sa mga patay sa Christine, landslides eh.
Landslides,
which is basically rain rain-soaked yung lupa eh. And surprisingly, dito sa
Batangas ang malaki.
Sa medyo flatland, hindi sa Cordillera.
Right. Oo. I mean, we saw a lot of flooding in Naga, which was devastated a lot of homes. It was devastating, the flood there. Pero most of the deaths happened in Batangas, I understand. Batangas.
And you
From
remember,
landslides.
nung tumama yung Christine sa atin, sa Luzon, namumula yung, yung ito banda rito, yung bandang Batangas area, yun ang pulang-pula with rain showers.
Kahit na
Hindi
yung
Cordillera.
mata, nasa norte.
Oo.
Malayo yung mata doon sa area na kung saan talaga nagkaroon ng malaking pinsala, which is either, I think, the Bicol area and the Batangas area.
That's just recalling Christina. This is Leon.
So I guess, Bok, it's a new weather patterns that we're seeing right now. So, yun.
Di mo naman sabi.
Kaya
Sige, Bok.
nag-forced evacuation na yung di ba? Nag-order kahapon pa si Defense Secretary Gilbert Chodoro. Yung mga high-risk areas, nag-forced evacuation sila. Mandatory evacuation. So tingnan natin kung medyo mabawasan ngayon. Sa bagay, yung malakas na wind, delikado din yan, di ba? Ang lakas din makawasak yan.
Check
At saka pag nag-super typhoon yan, Yolanda yan. Kasi lakas yan ng Yolanda pag nag-5 yan.
Pag may interconnection kayo, huwag na kayo mag-Facebook masyado. Check yung NOAA
ba, hindi pa
website.
rin kwan? Ed,
Ano, Bok?
ang illegal logging ba, hindi pa heinous crime?
Hindi.
Then may proposal.
Although I understand, may
yung
lag ban
last
tayo.
time, illegal logging
May ban
yan.
tayo sa logging.
Matagal na yung laging ban eh. Pero,
Nabuta ko pa nung Senate reporter ako when they had that ban. But I guess, Ed, my question, what I wanted to ask Ernie Lingaw here, okay, anong difference ng gustiness dun sa anong measurement sa wind?
sustained winds.
Sustained wind. So what's the difference
Ang
between the
sustained
two?
winds yung consistent dun sa consistent dun sa
Mata?
sa movement eh.
Okay.
Well, hindi lang mata, pati sa paligid niya eh. Pero that's the maximum na sustained na dire-diretso. Yung kasi yung biglang bubugso ng ganun. Yung
Bugso-bugso.
Parang hindi ko pa rin naiintindihan. Iba.
Hindi. Yung sustained winds
Bugso,
is
bugso.
yung the sustained average, I suppose, speed ng ikot.
Sustained.
Sustained eh.
Okay, what should the public, be looking out for?
Both actually, I think. Kasi sustained dahil consistent yan. Consistent yan na...
Yung gustiness naman,
yung biglang hahampas.
bigwas. Yung bigwas.
Bigwas, yun, bigwas.
Oo, yung
Tapos
hampas.
hihina, lalakas,
hihina.
hihina, lalakas.
Oo. Yung bugso. Yung,
bugso.
Yung
Okay.
gustiness.
Okay.
Bigla
Yung
kang
bugso,
hahampasin.
delikado sa mga bangka.
Oo.
Sa maliliit na bangka, delikado yung bugso.
Well, actually, pati
Yung
sa mga
gustiness.
bubong. Kasi minsan yung bugso, pag sobrang lakas, ililipa rin talaga yung mo. Kahit na
Yes.
matibay yan dun sa
Kahit na may mga
sustained.
gulong.
Kahit may gulong.
Kapatong. Okay, at this point, let's check in on Cagayan, where wind signal number 3 remains due to Super Typhoon Leon. We have News 5 correspondent Brian Basa on the ground. Brian?
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Brian.
Good afternoon. Hi, Ami, and to Tito Ronald, and Bok. Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat dyan sa studio. At this hour, nandito ako sa loob ng crew cab para mag-tasto because outside, it's getting worse by the minute. Pasungit ang panahon essentially because of dahil nga palubog na araw,
Teka,
mahapon na.
Brian, asa ka muna?
Sumusungit yung panahon. Yes?
Where exactly are you in Cagayan? Situate mo muna kami.
All right. We are on the main road. We're trying to head to Barangay Palawig. Kanina lang, we visited the Palawig River. It's one of the 3 rivers na binabantay ng local government. Yung Palawig River na yon, medyo umakaw na sa bago mag 4 p.m. So it's causing alarm, especially for residents in low-lying areas. So we're checking, right now, we will be checking yung evacuation center nila dun sa barangay. Kasi
Okay.
evacuation center na per barangay.
Okay,
Yes.
Brian, are you in
Santa Ana?
Santa
O
Ana
ano?
town in the northernmost tip of Isabela? Anong bayan ka? Nasaan bayan ka right now, Brian?
Yes, tama kayo dyan. Santa Ana is indeed in the northeastern tip
Yun.
of the country.
Ito yun, no?
Which
Namumula.
is why this is well in the trail of the storm. I think you have the windy right now.
Yep.
So, yun ang nakikita rin natin sa ngayon. It's reflective of what we're seeing now. Strong rain accompanied by strong winds. Kaya yung risk of being outside, it's very high.
Okay.
So, we're not seeing a lot of people outside.
Okay, give us a sense, Brian, ano, pag ikaw ba tumayo ka sa labas, mahihipang ka ba ng hangin, sa lakas ng hangin dyan? I mean, is it physically impossible to just stand outdoors right now?
Yes, Patrick. If you are, parang kung medyo chillax, yung parang medyo, ako medyo may kabigatan na ako. Pero kaya pa akong hampasin ng hangin ng kaunti because talagang masungit ang panahon. We've been hearing this term since we covered Bagyong Julian, and now after Christine, tapos ito naman Leon, I'm still using that word, masungit talagang panahon. It's like it doesn't want you to be outdoors at this moment.
Okay,
Kaya
at this very moment, Brian, you are inside the crew cab, the vehicle of News 5. Is it because you're headed somewhere, or you need to be indoors to keep safe?
Both actually. So yes, we are heading to. We will be checking sana one of the evacuation centers dahil na according to the local government here, there are over 140 families in evacuation centers. So we will check on them. And also, yes, para magkarinig ka sa the tendency for me, pagka sa labas tayo, talagang mataas na yung boses ko. Kasi hindi ko na marinig din yung sarili ko. Patakas nung not a witness. Ay, dinidescribe na hindi lang sa pito, but it's a howl. Parang puko lang.
Baka pwede marinig.
Kamusta naman, Brian, yung lakas ng ulan?
Ano siya hindi, alam mo yung parang tinutusok ka, ganun yung feeling. Malakas siya, tapos paslant ang buhos because of the wind. So ang effect sa'yo, if you're outside, parang kang ina-ice pick. Ganon, parang kang tinutusok ng sandabukal na karayom. Dahil ganun ka-sharp yung, kumbaga, kabangis ang Super Bagyong Leon at this hour.
Okay.
Brian, dyan ba sa lugar na yan yung forced evacuation?
The howl of the wind.
Dyan ba yung inutos ng gobyerno na forced evacuation? Saka ilan ba yung mga affected nun? Kasi yung coastal communities yata at yung mga malalapit sa mga bundok, mga hillside, yun yung mandatory evacuation. Meron na ba kayong report about it?
Yes, Ami, ang nakuha natin from the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office dito sa Santa Ana is there are 7 barangays. Ito yung mga coastal, yes, you mentioned coastal community. Sila yung mga forced evacuate, sila yung kailangan mag-forced evacuation, especially because of Pag-asa storm surge warning. So, ang warning ng Pag-asa is 3 meters above the normal tide level. So, that could pose serious danger to the lives of the residents. Kaya, ang advice talaga sa mga malalapit sa dalampasigan ay muna sa mga bahay na go to safer ground or higher ground kasi maaaring kasing lalong magalit yung dagat, so to speak.
Okay, Brian, sabi mo a while ago, napanood ko yung report mo kanina sa News 5, sa TV5, sabi mo, howling sound of the wind. I mean, is it possible for you to give us a sense of how this actually sounds like right now dyan sa Isabela?
Yeah. Yes, Cagayan actually. So we arrived since this morning, mga 11 a.m. Pagbaba ko sa crew cab, I was expecting some high-pitched na whistle. Diba? That's how people would describe it. But hindi siya, it's like, para sang howl talaga. Hindi sa pakit o hindi sa papito. It's a huge sound, prolonged sound, and then hindi mo siya of course you cannot see the wind, but you will see its impact on structures. Yung mga, of course, yung mga punong nagsusway, violently sway. Eto, yung mga structures, yung mga signage, yung mga poste na may signage, sumasayaw, gumigewang. Pag yun, di ba, dahil man-made structure nga, of course, there's that risk na baka mamaya mahulog yung signage. Di ba, kasi talagang gumigew, na siya parang siyang pendulum. Nag-sway siya on both directions. Ganon ganun mo siya nakita. And of course, if you go to the river, makikita makikita mo may parang nag-spray, may spray effect. That's how you see the wind apart from the sound that it makes.
Kamusta naman, Brian, ang kuryente? Wala pa namang brownout dyan?
Unfortunately, for residents that do not have generators of their own, they are currently withstanding hours of brownout. Dito, the last that we heard ay parang 10 a.m. Around that time, nagsimula nang mawala yung power. So, some residents, araw ang mga taga-Cagayan sa karanasan ng bagyo, many residents have their own generators. So, well then and good. But for the others, unfortunately, wala. So, they will have to wait through the night of to withstand this electricity outage. Kaya nga kami rin wala rin kuryente. Hindi kami makapag-live using our transmitters kasi kahit na ito, wala rin signal, wala rin internet. Kaya tayo phoner tayo ngayon.
Brian, ang signal number 3, napakalakas na nun. Kung may storm surge warning, mas delikado yan. May nakikita na ba kayong mga damage sa mga property, mga nagliliparang yero, for example, o yung mga nabali ng mga poste ng mga bahay dahil nakikita namin yung ibang bahay nakaano lang sa poste. May nakita na ba kayong mga ganong klaseng damage?
Sa pag-iikot namin sa mga oras na ito, thankfully, wala pa tayong nakikita. But again, this is not any cause for celebration. Hindi ito dahilan para magpakampan. Actually, maisingit ko lang, I'm seeing from the crew cab, may mga taong nagsisialisa na atang dala-dala yung mga sanggol, may dala-dala silang basket ng kanilang mga damit, may aso pa silang kasama. I think they're heading to the evacuation center kasi nga napakalaga ng impact o yung paghagupit ng super typhoon na Leon. So, wala pa naman tayong nakikitang structure. Patuloy ang ating pag-ikot at ang pagbabanta. So, we will let you know and we will show you on video as soon as we see these structures. But hopefully, we do not sustain naman damage from this storm.
Sige, Brian, pag may bit-bit na
reports
sanggol,
na ba, Brian, ng flooding? Reports na ba ng flooding dyan?
Okay, on flooding.
Similar dito sa nakaraang bagyo?
Okay, on flooding, sabi ng Municipal Disaster Management officials again sa Santa Ana, they are fearing na baka magka-flash flood if the rain persists. Nabanggit ko kanina, they are monitoring 3 rivers. So yung isa doon, medyo umaapaw na. So pag umaapaw yung tatlo, especially Igos, meron daw itong tributaries na connected sa upstream community. So, at we know, Santa Ana, so at ito raw yung dulo ng Sierra Madre. So pag we know what happens when rain and when water forced from the upstream communities. So yun ang pinangangambahan na yon ng mga opital. That's why they are relentlessly encourage residents to evacuate to safer ground.
Brian, did you notice, napansin mo ba kung, Cagayan is a rice granary of the country, no? Napansin mo ba kung naani na yung mga palayan dyan, yung mga palay?
I got to speak to the mayor of Santa Ana. So apparently, it's a mix of season of pagtatanim. Okay. Tapos may season na may mga hindi pa raw naaani. Okay. Mas marami daw yung itinatanim pa lang. Okay. So, in terms of agricultural damage, well, they're still monitoring. Pero mas mukhang marami mga katatanim pa lang na pala. Yung mga inaani, meron daw mga inaani yung dapat few days and weeks dahil lang sa mga nagdaang bagyo. So, that's what marami daw yung mga they're still estimating how much is going to be the damage o yung hindi pala, sabi ko.
Uy. Okay, maraming salamat, Brian Masa. Brian, kung may oras ka, silipin mo yung Camila Ocia sa Naval Air Station. Kasi EDCA site yun eh.
Dapat, di ba, pangako tutulong. Tutulong dapat pag sa mga ganitong disaster. Tsaka Brian, Ed a while ago just was about to say, no, Ingat kayo. Pero nabanggit mo kanina, may mga nakita mga residente may dalang bata na gusto lumikas. Ingat kayo, Brian, pero kung may pagkakataon naman na makakatulog kayo, baka pwede tumulong din.
Sige nga sa club.
Yun lang.
Lalo pag naglalakad lang sila.
Oo. Yun lang, Brian.
Yes.
Okay.
Maraming salamat din.
Okay.
Ingat.
Ingat po.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian Basa reporting from Santa Ana, Cagayan. Population of 35,000. Northern part of Cagayan. EDCA site.
Where there's an EDCA site.
Camilo Ocias Naval Air Station.
Pero wala pa ata talagang facilities yung mga Amerikano doon na natayo.
But we haven't checked in a long while.
But
it's supposed to be one of the EDCA sites.
This would have been a perfect opportunity for them to show talaga na pang disaster response yung mga EDCA sites.
On the other hand, hindi ka dyan maglalagay ng pag dyan dadaan yung bagyo. Doon ka sa bandang, doon ka sa iba kasi liliparin yung mga yung mga helicopter.
Kaya magtayo ng Amerika ng mga matitibay na di ba, facilities na typhoon.
Delikado dyan ang lakas ng hangin dyan sa Northern Luzon. Yung between that place and the Batanes, napakalakas ng hangin yan kahit walang bagyo.
It's also notable kasi nga, it's the nearest EDCA site to Taiwan. And of course, you know how controversial that got. So, yun. Of course, you also have Lalo, which is a little bit down south dito sa Cagayan. Isabela ba yun? Lalo. Nakita ko kanina Anyway, it's somewhere there.
And Lalo is another EDCA site, but it's apparently a private airport. It's not a government facility.
Lalo. Namumula rin. Namumula rin. Also, that part of is that Ilocos Norte or is it Apayao? Anyway, I think Pag-asa's on the line. Sir, magandang hapon, Pag-asa weather forecaster Chanel Dominguez, or is it Chanel Dominguez? Thank you for joining us.
Magandang hapon din po sa inyo.
Ay, ma'am, sorry po.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo at magandang hapon din po sa mga
I had the 50-50 chance of getting it right or wrong, and I got it wrong. Okay. Ma'am, pa-update po muna. Let's hear it from Pag-asa. Super typhoon na raw.
Sige po, update po muna po tayo dito po sa super typhoon po na si Leon. Ito po huling na mataan sa 310 km east ng Calayan, Cagayan. May taglagil na lakas na hangin na 185 km per hour at gustiness po or bugso na umaabot ng 230 km per hour. Ito'y kumikilos northwestward sa bilis na 15 km per hour. Sa ngayon po, meron na tayong tropical cyclone wind signal number 4 dito sa may Batanes. Signal number 3 naman sa eastern portion ng Babuyan Islands at northeastern portion ng mainland Cagayan. Signal number 2 naman sa nalalabing bahagi ng Babuyan Islands at mainland Cagayan, northern at eastern portion ng Isabela, Apayao, Kalinga, northern at eastern portion ng Abra, eastern portion ng Mountain Province at pati na rin sa Ilocos Norte. Signal number 1 naman sa nalalabing bahagi ng Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, Abra, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Nueva Ecija, Aurora, northeastern portion ng Tarlac, northern portion ng Bulacan, northern portion ng Camarines Sur at Camarines Norte, kasama na rin po ang northern portion ng Quezon including Polillo Islands at northern at eastern portions ng Catanduanes. Sa nakikita po natin, possible ang close approach po niya dito sa Batanes late evening today or tomorrow morning. And then hindi po natin pa rin inaalis ang landfall scenario dito po sa atin sa Batanes. And sa nakikita po natin, possible pinakamataas pong intensity po niya, super typhoon yung close approach po niya sa Batanes. Yan po muna latest dito sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Chanel Dominguez po, magandang hapon.
Ma'am, may tanong kanina si Tito Patrick, maigi kayo na sumagot. Ano po yung kaibahan ng gustiness dun sa maximum sustained winds?
Yes po, ito po maximum sustained winds. Ito po yung lakas po niya sa ngayon, 185 km per hour. Pagdating naman po sa gustiness, yun po yung bugso. So nagkakaroon po tayo ng, yun normally po 185 lang po, pero bigla po magkakabugso bigla ng 230 km per hour po.
Laki na kaibahan, ha? 235 from...
Lakas nun.
Yan po, opo.
185, 230, 185. 45 kph difference.
Yes.
So pareho dapat binabantayan ng tao.
Malakas po bang possibility na mag-intensify pa yan to super typhoon number 5 Kasi lakas na po yun ng Yolanda, kaya marami nag-aalala.
Ano po yun po, super typhoon pa po siya sa ngayon po. And then kapag super typhoon po kasi ang pinakamataas po natin na itataas na wind signal ay number 5 po. Pero hindi rin po natin inaalis pa rin naman po ang posibilidad po na pagtataas po ng signal number 5, lalo na po kung lalapit pa po ito dito sa Batanes.
Okay, ma'am, Chanel, linawin lang natin, when you say super typhoon, much of this super typhoon po ay nasa dagat. Wala po talaga sa kalupaan.
Yes po, opo. Kaya rin po ito po kung imahahambing po natin siya kay Christine. Si Christine po ay severe tropical storm. Ito po ay tumawid po ng ating Philippine landmass. Hindi po katulad nito ni Leon na nasa karagatan pa rin po.
Okay. So, doon siya mag-super typhoon sa dagat.
Pa natin dito sa parating na 2 buwan.
Sa nakikita po natin, possible po mga 4 pa po kung nakikita po natin.
Ma'am, yung signal number 5 is 185 kph, no?
Yes po,
ang
opo,
sustained winds. Sa ngayon po, ano siya ngayon?
185 po, yun po yung pinakamababa po for a super typhoon pa lang po sa ngayon po.
Opo. Pero as of now, it is what po?
Super typhoon po, 185 kilometers
so,
per hour.
nasa minimum siya.
Opo, minimum po yun po.
Okay.
But that is not what Cagayan is experiencing.
Yeah.
It's basically it po.
Yeah.
It's not a super typhoon.
Okay.
Yung dagat ang nasusuper typhoon ngayon. But madadama yung Batanes. Okay, at the outer band, Itbayat, Basco is here. Pero yung eye talaga is still over on top of the ocean.
Opo.
Okay.
Ma'am, malalaman natin by tonight, no? Kung siya ay maglalandfall sa Batanes. By late tonight ba yan? Early evening?
Late tonight. Close approach. Hindi pa po tinatanggal yung landfall po.
Okay, so mag-ingat ang mga mag-ingat po yung mga ibatan diyan sa Basco at sa Itbayat.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Pag-asa weather forecaster Chanel Dominguez. Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Ayan, namumula-mula talaga siya. At saka napakaklaro ng ano niya, ng eye niya which they say is an indication kung gaano karaming...
Explain the legend. This measures rain and thunder right now.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at the white band, yan ang pinakamalaking concentration ng ulan. Okay? Yan ang gradient po niyan. Ito ulan po yan, malakas na ulan, yung pula at saka yung purple, pero yung pinakamalakas itong puti. Ngayon yung gitna na yan, medyo malaki yung mata niya. No? Ibig sabihin yan, wala masyadong... madilim dyan malamang. Pero we all know that hindi talaga doon yung ulan.
It's usually very peaceful.
It's peaceful.
Well, relatively peaceful. Not to say it's very peaceful.
What we're seeing, Leon is super typhoon Leon. No? Is on top of
at 185.
It's on top of the ocean. Pero yung outer cloud band nito, medyo nahagip ang bahagi, ang northern tip most ng Cagayan. Here, specifically Santa Ana.
Yeah. Actually, pati Lawag
all of a sudden, may ano dito, may cloud band dito na bumubuhos ang ulan dito. Yan po ibig sabihin yan. Kung titingin nyo, in a quick glance yung ano ibig sabihin ng legend.
Karasi, Lawag, Batak, Kalanasan. Namumula siya. Santa Ana, Gonzaga.
The rest, the green, would be rains too. Would be some rainfall being seen there. But this is where you see a lot of rain falling. Okay. The red, the purple, and the white colors.
Ito, Ronald.
Oo, ganyan po ang pagtingin sa weather map. Yan.
Actually, you can move it forward, Boko. This is at 3 p.m.
Abangan natin. At what time?
Hindi nandadrag Kailangan mo dut-dutin. Hindi pag may play. Dut. Alam, yan. Okay. Oops, lang. Isa pang dut-dut. Ayun sumobra kang dut-dut medyo bagal ang sitan namin
At 8 p.m.
At
Ayan na siya.
8 p.m.
Biglang bubuhos dito sa may bahagi ng Ilocos Norte. Okay.
Santa Ana pa rin. Pero medyo nag-lift up konti dito sa Tagagao.
Kahit palayo na siya ng Pilipinas, biglang lumaki yung area sa Ilocos Norte na medyo babagyuin po. Mamayang 8 p.m. Ito po, forecast, and like anything about the weather, pwede pa magbago yan.
So, advance pa ng konti. Mga alas 12 siguro, alauna. Yan. Bagal yan.
Yan, 11 p.m.
Kasi, medyo nag-clear ng kaunti ang Cagayan. Ito, Tineg, Abra na yan. Malakas ang ulan. Ako, bulubundukan yan. Likuan Baay.
Yan. That's our
basta
weather
warning
outlook
nila,
for
umundas daw
the
will be
rest of the day.
raining. Yan yung warning nila.
Oo.
The Uundas holidays, rainy, kaya maganda lahat.
Hindi ata napakita
Especially
Metro Manila,
dito sa
no? Wala
Luzon.
tayong storm signal. Meron ba?
We can go down in the
Manila.
map and check out Metro Manila.
But hindi yung storm signal, ano?
Wala pa yata ang Metro Manila.
Mabagal yung bukid.
Okay.
Mabagal yan.
Okay.
Pero naulan ng kaunti, pabugso-bugso. Hindi siya sustained kagaya ng what you would expect in Cagayan. Ayan,
Brian Basa, the News 5 correspondent in Cagayan. He was in Santa Ana Town. He still is in Santa Ana Town. And ang report niya is yung ihip ng hangin,
The howl of the wind.
malalim. Hindi daw yung high pitch na pumipito.
Hindi sipol na matinis.
Oo,
Hindi,
malalim.
Ganun siguro yun.
Pangundas, parang ganun.
Pangundas.
Undas nga.
Pangundas, parang galing di ba, hukay.
Parang galing.
Malalim. Yung pagkakadescribe po ni Brian Basa.
Diyan pa naman sa Santa Ana, papansin mo dyan, yung ang dami niyang mga kotse maliliit, yung mga import na, na legal ba to? Hindi.
Iisipok.
Kasi may ano yan eh.
Parang sa Batanes.
Oo.
Port Irene.
May expert po. Port Irene.
Tama ba, Ronald? Is it Port Irene ata dyan sa may Cagayan? Ayaw sumagot ni Ronald.
Port Irene.
Pare-pare mga kotse yung maliliit, mga boxy na parang matchbox. Na alam mong in-import sa
Nakita niyo ba yung mga bahay sa Batanes, Patrick?
Yes. Yes. Pero handang-handa sila sa
Sandi pa yung pader doon di ba?
Oo, lalaki.
Handang-handa sila sa bagyo.
Kaya
Saka malakas na hangin.
Cool na cool lang sila sa ganyang bagyo.
Sanay,
Pati
ready.
yung puno doon, parang giant bonsai That's an oxymoron, pero yung korte niya para siyang bonsai, di ba? Pero yung mga top
gnarled branches.
Oo.
Mga gnarly branches.
Oo. Handang-handa sila.
Nakakita lang ako ng ganong klaseng mga pader sa Basilan Saka sa Sulu.
Iba naman
Iba
dahilan
yung mga bahay doon.
Iba naman ang dahilan.
Bulletproof.
Hindi naman
Mga
dahil sa
bunker
bagyo.
yun.
Pang bulletproof. Parang gano'n.
Iba yung norte, iba yung katimugan.
Oo.
Pareho makakapal yung mga pader, pero ibang dahilan.
Parehas isang di pa yung pader.
Diba? Yung katimugan tsaka hilaga, pareho yung pader, pero magkakaibang dahilan kung bakit.
Yan.
Nauwi na tayo sa kwento. Sige, mag-break muna tayo. You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a break. We'll be right back.
We've got the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez.
I'm Ed Lingao with Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star and Tito Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit.
Let's now talk to our next guest, House Quad Committee Co-Chairman, Congressman Benny Abante. Congressman, welcome back to the Storycon.
Hello.
Hi,
Thank
sir.
you.
Hello.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hi, sir. Magandang hapon, sir.
Hi, Congressman.
Oho.
Magandang hapon, Mike.
Ko.
Sir, I'm sure you were very attentive nung Senate hearing. Ano po yung mga
I watched some of them, yeah.
Ano po yung mga na-pick up niyo sa Senate hearing na gusto niyong ipursu sa Quadcom na maaring lead para sa Quadcom?
Well, pinag-usapan na rin namin na we would like to invite the former president sapagkat marami pa kami dapat itanong sa kanya that were not actually asked to him during the Senate hearing.
Sir, ano yun? For example, what's the first thing you'd like to ask? You'd want to ask if you had the chance?
Well, we would like to show him some video na nabanggit niya. For example, like he was denying that there was a reward system, you know. But I saw a video na sinasabi niya that he used the intelligence fund for the war on drugs. I would like to ask him how did he use the intelligence fund for the war on drugs? Mga ganun tanong. Oh.
So you have video of the president and I suppose other officials, like for example, kasi I've also seen Bongo and Bato in other video clips supposedly saying that, I don't know they use the word reward system pero funding.
Nakakita ako ng video, hindi ko lang na-save pero he was saying that he used the intelligence fund for the war on drugs. And siyempre, ang tanong namin dyan, paano mo ginamit? How did you use it? The intelligence fund for the war. I know that he used some of them. We'd like to find out how did he use the intelligence fund for the war on drugs.
Actually, sir,
Kong Abante, habang pinapanood ko yung Senate hearing, merong isang major issue na hindi napag-usapan, yung testimony ni Las Cañas tungkol sa hindi lamang pinapatay yung mga drug lords, pushers, addicts, kung hindi pinapalitan ito ng mga allegedly ng mga sariling tao nila Mayor Duterte noon at nung siya ay naging presidente na. Yang issue ba na yan, ipopursue nyo sa Quad? Dahil hindi siya na-pursue sa Senate hearing.
I did not get that story. Hindi ko nakita yung istoryang yan eh. Yung sinabi nila sa kanya.
Yung Michael Yang issue, Kong Abante. Kaya di ba, kaya si Michael Yang ay lumabas na ng bansa dahil na-link siya sa drugs.
Maraming sinabi sila sa Cañas and Matobato sa ICC, no?
Yes.
Maaaring ilabas namin sa Quadcom hearing.
Yes. So yun yung magiging major difference.
Okay, Congressman Abante, I'd like to read to you a quote from Senator Coco Pimentel. And this is his quote. Ano? Alam niyo ba na after the hearing, parang both sides ay lumulundag sa saya. Ellipsis. Ibig sabihin nun, nagampanan natin yung papel natin at naging fair na chairman. Comment po. What can you say about how the Senate committee conducted that hearing?
Well, there was only one senator that actually asked the real questions, and that is Senator Rizal Tiveros. The others naman, hindi naman talaga nag-ask ng question. For example, like yung mga senator na nanggaling kay former president, hindi naman sila nag-ask ng question eh. In fact, the Senator Bato was quite defensive. He would answer the allegations of the witnesses at nagiging defensive siya. But he never asked a question to the former president. Talagang nagtanong lang sa former president, isa lang eh. Wala namang iba. Oo, yung isang senator dyan, nagbiro pa sa dating Pangulo. Pero they were, sa akin the other senators were actually timid in asking questions.
Okay.
Congressman, ano po yung tingin nyo na si Senator Bato and Senator Bongo, who are being implicated in anomalies dun sa war on drugs, are asking questions doon sa appearance ni former President Duterte sa Senado?
Hindi ba sila naman Senator Bato, ina-explain lang nila yung ginawa when they were when example like when Bato was the chief of police of Davao City, when he was the Director General of the Philippine National Police. Sinasabi lang niya yung mga ginawa niya noon, no? But actually, he did not even reveal anything. Wala naman siya reveal. Yung pa dating Pangulo nag-reveal sa kanila na sila ay miyembro. For example, like Bato was a member of the DDS.
Tingin mo, Kong Abante, bakit ganun yung kondukta ng mga senador? Sabi nyo nga, isa lang talaga yung nagbigay ng mga seryosong mga tanong. Yung si Bato, si Robin Hood Padilla, at saka si Bongo, medyo expected. Pero may 4 na senador doon na miyembro ng administration. Tapos, very deferential sila. At hindi lang deferential, sabi nyo nga, nagbibiro pa. Bakit kaya ganun ang kanilang kondukta? Mga miyembro sila ng administrasyon. Unlike Risa Ontiveros na oposisyon.
Out of deference to the former president, o kaya naman talagang hindi sila handa magtanong. Sa amin sa Quadcom, pag siya inibitan namin, handa kami magtanong. Marami kami ipapakitang video na mga salita niya. very much prepared for that. Kaya gustong-gusto namin siya imbitahan sapagkat talagang tatanungin namin siya. He's not going to get the microphone and be the one to speak, no? No. He will be there to ask. He will be there to answer questions of the Quadcom.
Pero Kong, is there any
Congressman, meron ba
indication
kayong
that he will?
may formal invitation ba kayo? Kasi you have a standing invitation to him na hindi naman pinapansin. Pero ngayon, after he appeared before the Senate, meron ba kayong formal invitation at ipe-pursue niya ba yan para, well, to persuade him na humarap din siya sa Quadcom? Kasi may kumakalat po ngayon na, well, baka chismis lang yun, ano? Na mukhang nakahanda nga siyang humarap sa inyo, pero I think you will need to send him a formal invitation.
We will. I think we will send him a formal invitation. Malayo pa naman yan, no? That would be November 7. So, there's still time. Although yung aming invitation nung una is actually an open invitation for him to come. Continue yung invitation niya. Pero baka magbigay pa kami ng isang official invitation for him to come.
Congressman Abante, any update on former Secretary Harry Roque? Hinahanap pa ba siya?
Wala po. Wala pong update except na siyang gumagawa ng update sa kanyang sarili, no? He is quite active in saying statements in Indonesia. Kami, wala kaming update dun. We're continuing on in looking for him and inviting him to come and attend the Quadcom hearing.
Is there
sa magtago siya, lumabas na lang siya.
Is there an active search for Secretary Roque, Mr. Abante? Congressman Abante?
Ano po yun?
May active search po ba for Secretary Roque? Aktibo ba siyang hinahanap, for example, ng mga otoridad upon the prodding, let's say, of the House of Representatives?
The National Police looking for him, yeah. Oo. Pero ba, saan ba? Lulutang din siya. Papakita rin yan eh.
Kung papayag po si former President Duterte na humarap sa Quadcom, will you ask him or will you require him na wag naman magmura na magmura?
Pinag-usapan namin yan. Sinabi namin, we're not going to allow him to say those cuss words. No? Ako nga, sinabi ko, kung yung sasabihin niya, talagang tarantado naman yung tinutukoy niyang tao, o gago, talagang gago naman yung kanyang tutukoy ng tao, talagang tanga yung kanyang tutukoy, okay lang yan. Pero yung PI, that is not an expression. A PI, para mo minumura yung nanay ko niyan. I'm not going to allow that. Kaya...
Paano po pag hindi kayo pinansin? Paano kung hindi kayo pansinin? Kasi
ganito yun. Every time we would make a cuss word, sasabihin namin na to make a motion to strike it on the record. Palagi na ang gagawin namin. O kaya naman, ipo-point of order namin kung nasa rules that you ought not to use vulgar words. Sa akin lang, pag ako nakainindat ng PI na ganyan, magsasalita ako tungkol dyan. Hindi ako tatahimik.
But what can you do, sir? I mean, what can you do or what will you do if he does persist in doing that?
Nung sa Senate hearing, nagpag-argue siya si Senator Rita, di ba? Halos pag-away siya. Hindi ko lang alam ang gagawin niya sa Quadcom sapagkat pag narinig ko na nag-PI siya sa Quadcom, ibang motion ko to strike that on the record at pangalawa, ipo-point of order ko siya and I will be telling him, remind him to stop cussing us, stop using the word PI.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pero, sir, point of order is it's a very technical thing. I mean, you make a point of order that just stops everything for a moment, and then you go back to normal. I mean, what exactly will it do if you keep on saying point of order, Mr. Chairman? It will not necessarily stop him. Sorry, let me put it this way, sir. There are those who say na in the Senate hearing, the former president effectively took control of a lot of portions of the hearing. He had a long, lengthy platform to say his piece. How will it be different if he does appear in your Quadcom? How will you make sure that you're in control of the hearing?
Sa akin, yung pang, let's just cross the bridge when we get there, no? Pero ako, sinabi ko na yan, number one, I'm not going to allow him to take control of the situation. Number two, I'm not going to allow him to use the word PI. Ano man ang mangyari, we're not going to allow that. Magalit kasi ako magalit. Gusto niya magalit. But we're not going to allow that.
Pero ano pong magagawa niya? Hindi niya naman siya magagag. He actually apologized to Senator Risa Hontiveros and then he went on using PI.
And he called her sensitive.
Hindi naman niya pwede siyang busalan na gano'n. Eh di baliwala yung tanungan niya, yung Q&A niya pag binusalan niya. Ano pong magagawa? Short of dragging him away from the session. Oo. Paano, ano kayang pwedeng gawin doon?
Titanan natin kung ano magagawa natin doon. Pero palagay ko sa akin, I will definitely not allow him to use the word PI.
Congressman, a witness, we've seen witnesses lesser than a former president cited for contempt, for example, or even put under detention. I mean, do you see things heading that way if things get out of control, for example?
We can cite anybody who is a witness or a source person in contempt. But we are thinking to accord the president all the respect that he would like to give him. We are not going to set him in contempt. Hindi kami gagawin yan.
Okay.
Siguro, pag magkakaroon lang kami ng debate tungkol sa paggamit niya ng PI.
Congressman, ngayong balak niyang imbitahin si former president, pwede rin ba, iniisip niyo rin ba to set aside inter-parliamentary courtesy at gusto niyo na rin bang imbitahin si Senator Bato at si Senator Bongo? Formal invitation, hindi?
We have extended the invitation for them to come. Pero alam mo naman, sinabi ni Senate President Chis Escudero na he's not going to allow them to come to our hearing, no? Ako, I am very much charged to invite Senator Bato de la Rosa for the hearing because he has been saying things in the media. Kung ano sinasabi niya sa media. Sabihin niya sa amin ngayon, under oath siya. Hindi niya sa amin.
Kung Abante, sabi niyo nga kanina, ay ibibigay niyo sa former president all the respect as a former president. Pero paano kung yung institusyon naman ng Kongreso ang ayaw niya irespeto? Halimbawa, pag minumura na niya, hindi lamang kayo, kundi yung Kongreso mismo. Ibig sabihin, may limits ba yung pagbigay niyo ng respeto sa kanya as a former president? Kung talagang bababuhin niya yung Kongreso?
There is no limit to give him respect as a former Philippine president. But there's no limit for us to rebuke him sternly for what he's trying to say. Palagay ko naman, makikita niya kapag kami nire-rebuke na siya sternly and ask him to stop doing that. Palagay ko naman, makakahalata naman siya. Hindi naman siya tao na dumb, hindi naman siya tao na hindi niya makahalata ang ginagawa sa kanya.
Okay.
Congressman, sabi niya, kung hindi daw siya bastos at walang hiya, baka daw hindi siya naging presidente. Paano kung ganun yung takbo nung... That's in relation to yung pagmumura niya.
I remember when he was actually campaigning, wala akong narinig masyadong mura sa kanya. Narinig ko lamang niya ng presidente na siya. In fact, to tell the truth, I voted for Digod Duterte when he ran for president. And during that time, nagkita pa kami. I actually prayed for him. Nagkita kami. And then he was campaigning. Wala akong narinig na mura sa kanya. Ngayon, nung nanalo siya, ayun, Narinig ko yan, naglamumura siya. Oo. Hindi ko nga narinig sa kanya that I'm going to kill 30,000 people so that drugs will stop. I never heard that from him.
Okay, maraming salamat, Quad Committee Co-Chairman, Congressman Benny Abante of Manila.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Salamat
po, Congressman.
Salamat po.
Thank you, Kong.
Oh, thank you for joining Storycon today. Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Tito Rol Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Storycon. I'm Ed Lingao.
I'm Patrick Paez, and we are One News, all sides, all the time. This is the Story Conference Group, or the Storycon Group.